Right now, a hidden war for global supremacy is being fought over an object tens of thousands of times thinner than a human hair. If the manufacturing of this object were to halt tomorrow, the global economy would suffer an immediate loss of $2.5 trillion. The target of this conflict is the semiconductor, fabricated on arrays of pure silicon wafers. Modern states historically fought over massive tracts of land or reserves of oil. Today, the balance of global power rests on a microscopic, deeply fragile manufacturing choke point. In the 1960s, computers were the size of a room. Driven by Moore's law, the industry managed to roughly double the number of transistors on an integrated circuit every 2 years, shrinking mainframes into invisible, immensely powerful electronic brains. These chips now form the nervous system of global military power. Specialized semiconductors coordinate the avionics, radar, and precision guidance systems of an F-35 fighter jet. But this map tracing the global supply chain reveals a critical vulnerability. The United States military relies on advanced chips manufactured outside of its own borders. Every line of leading-edge production converges on the island of Taiwan. The United States maintains unparalleled military capacity across the globe, yet it is dependent on a single, exposed supply chain halfway across the world to build its hardware. In 1987, a former electrical engineer named Morris Chang founded the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, using a radical new business framework, the Pure Play Foundry. Under this model, TSMC designs nothing. They dedicate their entire capital and engineering focus to physically manufacturing the chips designed by other companies. This chart highlights the scale of the resulting monopoly. Today, TSMC produces over 60% of all semiconductors globally and 90% of the world's most advanced sub-10 nanometer chips. Replicating this capability is almost impossible due to the extreme physics involved. Their extreme ultraviolet lithography machines shoot microscopic drops of tin through a vacuum, striking them with a laser 50,000 times a second to generate plasma hotter than the surface of the sun, etching pathways just a few atoms wide. By mastering the most complex manufacturing process ever attempted, Taiwan transformed its economy into an indispensable global utility. The geography of the modern tech sector is strictly divided. Companies in Silicon Valley write the intricate architecture for the chips, but they rely entirely on Taiwan to forge the physical product. For Taipei, this extreme specialization is a deliberate strategy for national survival, widely referred to as the Silicon Shield. Taiwan's manufacturing capacity is so vital to the global economy that the United States is financially compelled to defend the island, while China is deterred from risking a military strike that would paralyze its own domestic electronics and automotive industries. This dense web of interdependence helps keep superpower hostilities in check, while simultaneously creating a single point of failure for the global economy. To restrict Chinese military modernization, the United States weaponized export controls, barring Chinese firms from importing extreme ultraviolet lithography machines and cutting them off from the leading edge of manufacturing. But the blockade is leaking. The recent release of the Huawei Mate 60 Pro, powered by a 7-nanometer chip produced domestically by China's SMIC, proves that Beijing is finding ways to advance despite the restrictions. Now, a massive new demand driver has drastically raised the stakes of this tech war: the rise of generative AI. Training large language models requires vast data centers packed with specialized graphics processing units, a hardware market dominated almost entirely by NVIDIA. Yet NVIDIA is a fabless company. They design the architecture, but they rely on TSMC in Taiwan to physically manufacture their AI accelerators. The race to develop artificial general intelligence is entirely bottlenecked by fabrication plants, sitting in the direct crosshairs of a superpower rivalry. Acknowledging this severe vulnerability, Washington passed the multi-billion-dollar CHIPS Act to pull semiconductor manufacturing back onto American soil. This spurred massive capital investments, including Intel's $28 billion commitment to build sprawling megafabs in Ohio. However, physical construction is only part of the equation. These fabs require massive specialized supply chains and thousands of trained technicians, a process that takes years to bring online. If Taiwan's fabs go offline before the U.S. achieves self-sufficiency, a disruption would trigger an 11% drop in U.S. GDP and a 16% drop in China's, far exceeding the 2008 financial crisis. Smartphone production would halve, and military procurement pipelines would freeze. A disruption in the Taiwan Strait creates a shockwave reaching every continent, triggering a global economic contraction modeled to exceed the scale of the Great Depression. We have entered an era of tech nationalism, where governments use supply chains and trade embargoes as strategic weapons. In response to Western pressure, China is pouring state capital into its domestic sector, racing to achieve technological self-sufficiency to survive the embargoes. Meanwhile, as TSMC constructs new facilities in Arizona to satisfy U.S. demands, officials in Taipei watch anxiously, knowing that a self-sufficient America diminishes the very silicon shield that protects their island. The geopolitical map of the 20th century was drawn by nations competing for the control of fossil fuels. The 21st century is being drawn by the control of silicon. The power that secures the production of the microchip dictates the upper limits of artificial intelligence development, military modernization, and long-term economic growth. Global stability now rests on a manufacturing process as precise and as vulnerable as a single nanometer.